Hi, I'm Lanesia and I'm back with another video. It is the 4th of July. I just went on a rampage in the previous video I recorded because I was so irritated. Like, I think I just needed to get my irritation and frustration out. You see, I'm laughing now. And I played it back and I'm just like, girl, you're not posting this. Even though, like, yes, but no. And sometimes it really is just you getting it all out. That sometimes it's just that. But so it's the 4th of July. I'm not looking forward to the fireworks. I don't like all that noise. And then I don't like that it startles my cat. Actually, they're not startled. They actually like the noise and they look out the window and stuff. But I don't even know if they could see the fireworks. So, but I was saying in the previous videos, like, year after year, it's the same shit. Like, all these rituals, traditions. I'm over it. I'm so over it. So yeah, what I was saying in the last video was, you know, the bad days need to be documented too, because not only the walk with Christ is not linear, right? Like, of course, you grow through the pain, you grow through transformation, right? And the trials and the tribulations, but in the midst of that, showcase the bad days. Showcase when you're not feeling like yourself. Showcase, you know, showcase the bad days. Today is not the best day for me. It is not the best day for me. And, you know, I was in the middle of, which is interesting, I was in the middle of doing laundry, and that's why I had to call on God. You know, I repented and got some of it out, but I feel like I just need to sit with God for a minute. I just need to sit with God for a minute. There's been a lot of noise, and I think it was just calling for me to pull away from all of it and commune with Him, and to vent. And, you know, it's like, you have authority over your mind, your body, your spirit. Excuse me. Now that I play back and watch myself, you know, it's like, you have authority over that. Don't act like you don't have control over your emotions, and because life happens, right? Bad days happen, right? But what do you do with that energy, right? Sometimes it is just going for a walk. Sometimes it is just talking to a friend. But honestly, I don't advise that. I advise for you to sit with God and get it all out, right? That's really the best option, because He knows the full picture, and that's the only person you can truly confide in, right? Not to say that people are out here like wanting to maliciously do harm to you, but like, it's wise. It's wise to just take it all to God. So yeah, you have control. Like, and what are you gonna feed? Are you gonna sit and stew? This is me talking to myself. Are you gonna sit and stew in your frustrations and what it looks like right now and what you don't have and how things should be moving if you had total control? Or are you just gonna sit down, shut up, cast those thoughts, act like you have some sense, and control your emotions, right? Control your emotions. Even if it's hormonal, right? Because that's another part of it. Control that. Speak over that. You have control. Your universe, you have control over it. You have control over your body. Like, act like you have some sense. And you know these things as you continue to walk with God, and you continue to right? Because it's a heart posture, but it's also, you have free will. He's not holding you to a corner, but you know what's on the other side of things, right? So act like you know what you know, and walk out what you know. I'm having a bad day, but I'm not going to allow that bad day to overtake me, to ruin my emotions, to, you know, have me become gluttonous, to have me in a corner crying, to cuss people out, to want to block everybody and just act like I don't have no sense, because I'm letting my emotions rule me. versus me ruling over my emotions, right? And now I understand why fasting is necessary. So you can control this. So, yeah, cast down every thought that exalts itself. You fast. Isaiah 58. Let me read that. Let me read it. Isaiah 58. You know who speaks very well on this? He actually wrote a book. Minister Kevin L. Ewing. He is on YouTube. He lives by fasting, Isaiah 58, and prayers to go along with it. And he will teach you everything that you need to know. So if you don't know him, go find him. I believe everybody knows of him because that's his ministry. But okay, Isaiah 58 verse 6. Is this not the fast that I have chosen, to loose the bands of wickedness, to undo the heavy burdens, and to let the oppressed go free, and that you break every yoke? Is it not to deal thy bread to the hungry, and that thou bring the poor that are, I'm sorry, this one is so tiny. That thou bring the poor that are cast out to thy house. When thou seest the naked, that thou cover him, and that thou not hide thyself from thine own flesh. Then shall thy light break forth as the morning, and thy house shall spring forth speedily, and thy righteousness shall go before thee. The glory of the Lord shall be thy reward. Then shalt thou call, and the Lord shall answer, and thou shalt cry, and he shall say, Here I am. If thou take away from the midst of thee the yoke, the putting forth the finger, and the speaking vanity, and if thou draw out thy soul to the hungry, and to satisfy the afflicted soul, then shall thy light rise in obscurity, and thy darkness be as the noonday. And the Lord shall guide thee continually, and satisfy thy soul in drought, and make fat thy bones, and thou shalt be like the watered garden, and like a spring of water, whose waters fail not. Excuse me. And verse 12 reads, and they shall be of thee, and they that shall be of thee shall build and they that shall be of thee shall build the old waste places. Thou shalt rise up the foundation of many generations, and thou shalt be called the repairer of the breach, and the restorer of the past to dwell in. And it goes on and on from 13 to 14, right? So this is King James. Let me read from the NIV. But that's the protocol, and this is putting your flesh into submission, and what follows once you do that, right? So not only putting your flesh under submission of the word, right, and of not eating foods, right, but what you do in the midst of that, right, which is assisting the ones in need, the poor, the hungry. So now in the NIV it says, is not this the kind of fasting I have chosen, to loose the chains of injustice and untie the cords of the yoke, to set the oppressed free and break every yoke? Is it not to share your food with the hungry, and to provide the poor wanderer with shelter? When you see the naked, to clothe them, and not turn away from your own flesh and blood. Then your light will break forth like the dawn, and your healing will quickly appear. Then your righteousness will go before you, and the glory of the Lord will be your rear guard. Then you will call, and the Lord will answer. You will cry for help, and he will say, Here I am. If you do away with the yoke of oppression, with the pointing of the finger and malicious talk, and if you spend yourselves on behalf of the hungry, and satisfy the needs of the oppressed, then your light will rise in the darkness, and your night will become like the noonday. The Lord will guide you always. He will satisfy your needs in a sun-scorched land, and will strengthen your frame. And you will be like a well-watered garden, like a spring whose water never fails. Your people will rebuild the ancient ruins, and will rise up the age-old foundation. You will You will be called to repair the broken walls, restore the streets with dwellings. And then 13 and 14 go on. That's a protocol. So yeah, if you want to go in depth on that, there's Minister Kevin L. Ewing. Oh, I am nauseous. Excuse me. But have control over your flesh, over your thoughts, over your emotions. When you can rule all of that, when you can see where you're shifting off and like really just grab a hold of it, you won't be fazed by anything in this life. But for me, today was just, a crappy start. And it's just, getting your emotions under control. It's okay to have a bad day. But what do you do with that energy? You don't sit and feed that. And sometimes it's simply just an app. But yeah, for the most part, if your flesh is, more dominant than your spirit man, that's when it's a call to fast. So that's all I got. I'm gonna end it here because I feel bye.